Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Masandra Mustafa, and in this video I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful oversized dress. It's so comfortable. I originally designed this dress 2 years ago, and I've actually had the opportunity to create it in so many different colors, as you can see. Of course, it's optional if you want to have one color or two color. That is for you to decide, but I definitely feel like the two colors just makes everything put together. It's very comfortable, as you can see, very oversized, and I'll just be giving you guys a step-by-step instruction how you can recreate this dress for your own size. So to get started, we will be working on the back panel, and it's just a simple rib stitch at the bottom and then a double crochet all the way to the top to your desired length. The front panel is basically the same thing, just a few changes around the neckline. So let's get into it. To begin, make a slip knot and chain a total of 16 chains. After a total of 16 chain, we are going to work our way all the way down to the chain with half double crochet. The 16 chain is actually a chain one, so it's basically a 15 plus a chain one. So work your way all the way down with half double crochet, and then you're going to have a total of 15 half double crochet at the end of row 1 for the rib stitch. So we are getting to the end of row 1, and we are just going to add another half double crochet in the last chain 1 and turn. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, it's just a starting chain. So now go ahead and add another half double crochet, but this time around in the back loop only, all across the row, because that is what's going to give us the stretch that we need at the ribbed band. So at the end of this row, you should have a total of 15 half double crochet. So coming up at the end of the row 2, we are just going to make sure we add another half double crochet in the last half double crochet. Make sure not to skip on any half double crochet so you don't have a uneven rib stitch. Go ahead and chain 1 and turn, and we are just going to do the same thing we did for row 2 all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys at the end of row 3. So coming up at the end of row 3, we are just going to do the same thing. So at this point, all you have to do is just continue to do the same thing until you have a total of, I am making a size medium, so I made a total of 52 half double crochet, and that is for me a total of 19-20 inches, but this is definitely, I'll definitely put the size and how many of double crochet you need to do for your size, so you can go ahead and do the half double crochet that you will be needing for your own size, and then I'll see you guys at the end when you guys have everything completed. So now to get started, we are going to work our way all around the ribbed band we already made, and we are going to chain one, and the chain one, like I said, does not count as a stitch, it's just a starting chain. And after chaining one, you're going to add 1 double crochet in every space available. The reason why there is no specific amount of double crochet you can add is just because the dress is an oversized dress, so you can never go wrong with how many double crochet you add. It just depends to how many space you have available after the ribbed band. So just go ahead and add 1 double crochet right along the way, all the way to the end of the ribbed band. What I suggest you do is just count how many double crochet you are adding, just so you can have an even number when you're working on the front panel. And I'll see you guys at the end of this row 1. So this is me working my way all the way to the end of the row 1, and I'm just making sure I'm adding 1 double crochet in every space, not to have an opening so I don't have any space around, and making sure I add the last double crochet in that last space available so I can have everything put together. So this is what it's actually looking like. Very full, like I said. Make sure you don't have any all around, anything like that. So to get started with row 2, we are going to chain 1, turn, and then we are going to add double crochet in the first double crochet stitch. So the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so we are just going to go right into the first double crochet stitch with a double crochet. So for the rest of row 2, it's just a basic double crochet in each double crochet stitch, which means no increase or decrease along this row. You're going to just do the same thing all the way to the end of row 2. So I'll meet you guys at the end of row 2. Coming up at the end of the row, we are just making sure we add double crochet in every double crochet. Like I said, no decrease, no increase, just 1 single in every. So chain 1 and then you turn. And for row 3, it's basically the same thing as row 2. First double crochet is going to go right into the first double crochet in the previous row, and then along the way just a simple 1 double crochet in every double crochet stitch all the way to the end of row 3. So we are now at row 3. So to get started with row 4, we are going to chain 1 as usual, turn, and this is where we do increase. This is our increase row, so we are going to go ahead and add a double crochet in that first double crochet stitch, and then go again and add another 1 double crochet in that stitch. So that is the increase, just that. So we are going to do the same thing at the end of the row. So for the rest of the row, it's just a double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch. Make sure not to add any double crochet in any other stitch, because the increase is just at the beginning and the end. So I'll see you guys at the end of the row. So coming up at the end of row 4, that is where we're going to do another increase. So we are going to put another double crochet in the last double crochet stitch, and then go ahead and add another 1 double crochet, just so you have an even double crochet increase, which is at the beginning and at the end. So go ahead and chain 1 and turn, and we are going to repeat the same thing we did for row 4, which is the increase row at row 5. So 2 double crochet at the beginning of the row and another 2 double crochet at the end of the row, and in between the middle there is no double crochet, no increase at all, just a simple 1 double crochet in every double crochet stitch. And I'll see you guys at the end of row 5. So getting to the end of the row, I'm just going to do the same thing, add a double crochet right into the last double crochet stitch, which just evens the increase row. So now to get started with row 6, we are going back to a double crochet with no increase or decrease. So just like we started with row 1 to 3, we are just going to do row 6 with no increase, no decrease at all from the beginning to the end. So from row 6 to row 38 is just the same thing, double crochet along the way with no increase or decrease at all. So this is me after I have a total of 37 double crochet. So my first yarn got finished. So this is me trying to attach to my new yarn so I can finish row 38 before we switch the colors. Like I said, the color is obviously optional. If you want to go with one color, then this is a step you can obviously skip. You don't have to switch. You can just continue to work all the way up to 62, and the dress itself is 34 inches. So if you want the dress to be longer, then you go ahead and add more rows to your row. But for me, I am doing a total of 62 rows. So if the secondary color is not an option for you, you just want your dress in one color, then go ahead and work. You have to skip all this process and just go straight and work all the way to the top with your desired length. So this is me just finishing row 38 with my new yarn and just working my way all the way around. So I'll see you guys when I'm switching colors and show you guys how I go ahead and switch colors. So this is me working my way to the end of row 38, making sure I don't skip any stitch. So at the end of row 38, I'm just going to cut my yarn because I will be adding my second color at this point. So I am going to attach my second color. For second color, I chose this green because I don't know, I'm just trying to new colors and trying to do color blocking. But of course, you can go ahead and choose whatever color you want to work with. So to attach my second yarn, I'm just gonna go back to the last double crochet I made in the previous row. So instead of like finishing off the double crochet, I'm not going to. So I'm going to work my way all the way until I have 2 chains up on my hook, and then I'm going to take my second color and then slip stitch right into just finishing off the last double crochet in the previous row with the second color. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and now what I'm going to do at this point is going to sew in the ends, just because it makes everything look a bit neater instead of me just leaving it off. So instead of taking the green and the purple together, I'm going to leave the green and just take the purple and double crochet my way all around the purple yarn at the back, so it's going to look nice and it just belongs around the purple. So in this way, I'm just doing a double crochet all around, but then I'm making sure I'm doing the double crochet right on top of the loose end that I just passed behind my piece. And I'm just going to do the same thing all the way around to the end of this row, and I'll see you guys at the end of the row. So work your way around row 39, and at the end you're just going to do the same thing. Turn your work and then you work your way all the way back to the previous row. So at the end I'm gonna show you guys how I attach the loose end that is at the side grain. So this is me working my way back. This is row 40 and it's just a simple double crochet all along the way. So getting to the end of the row, what I usually do is I'm going to like just take the loose end at the end and see if it's long enough to just reach where I am at this point. I hope you guys understand what I mean. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's long enough to pass it through, but it's not, so I'm gonna work more double crochets. But this is obviously optional. You can just go ahead and just do what you usually do. I'm just trying to show you guys what works for me, and I think this is easy. So I'm just gonna, as you can see, I'm just gonna pass my yarn back at the back of the work of my piece, and I'm just going to do double crochet right on top of it. So this is gonna look really seamless, and I just thought I should show you guys how I do it. So in case you don't know this method, then you've learned something else from this video. So as you can see, I already double crocheted on top, and now I'm gonna cut it off and you guys can see what I actually mean by seamless. So with this method, it's really seamless as you work, and then you don't have to like sew in the loose ends at the end of your work. So now I'm just going to chain one and then continue with my double crochet along the way. So I'm going to do this for a total of 8 rows, which actually leaves me at row 46. So you're going to continue this for another 6 rows, and at row 46 you're going to do the same thing. Switch your yarn back to your first color and then do the same method if it works for you with sewing the ends in. If not, of course, go ahead and do what works for you, and it's just basically the same thing. And I'll see you guys at the end of the back panel. So my back panel is completed. I have a total of 62 rows of double crochet, and like I mentioned previously, if you want the dress to be longer, then you definitely go ahead and add more rows. Mine is 34 inches and I think the length is perfect. So, and if you want the dress to be shorter, just go and reduce the rows, the amount of rows you add. So for the front panel, it's basically the same like I mentioned earlier. It's just the same thing from the beginning. You go ahead and make a rib stitch, go ahead and do your double crochet, your increases, don't forget your increases on the side, and then you attach your second color and all the way to the top. So the difference between the front and the back panel is, instead of working, I have a total of 62 double crochet from my back panel. So instead of working a total of 62 double crochet, I am going to work a total of 59 double crochets, rows of double crochet. So I'm going to subtract 3 from my back panel, because we are going to add the 3 rows, but it's just going to be in a different way, just so we can get the perfect neckline that I was telling you guys about. So this is me going ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and measure actually what I have, so you guys can actually understand what I mean. So for the back panel, I have a total of 7 with the last set of rows, and for the front panel I have a total of 6 for the last set of rows. So the 3 rows that we subtracted is what we are going to add to the front panel again, and I'll show you guys in a bit, so you can have a total of 62 double crochet. And like I said earlier, if you did more rows, all you have to do is just subtract 3 from the back panel and then do the same thing on the front panel. So to get started with the neckline, this method works for me, but again, you can go ahead and just like place this piece, the front panel, in front of you, and check how wide you want the the neckline to be. It's off the shoulder, so you can do it off the shoulder, you can do it tight. It's really, that's why I like the dress, because it's really versatile. You can play along and around with it however you want to, but I want mine to be oversized. So what I did was I fold my piece into two, and from the folded side, this is me counting my way right to the end. So I'm counting 19 because I want mine to be oversized. I want mine to be off the shoulder. So I'm going to suggest some numbers you can do, but of course, like I said, the easiest way to get this to be just the way you want is just to test this thing on the front part of your body, and then decide how wide you want the neckline to be. So mine is 19. So at this point I didn't have a stitch marker. It was late and I couldn't find mine, so I'm just going to use my yarn to mark the spot that I want to stop at. So this is me just marking my spot. So I did 19, so I'm going to do I'm going to mark both sides. I already marked the first one, so I'm going to fold my work and then do the same thing at the opposite side, making sure I have the same spot. So I'm going to go ahead and attach another stitch marker there, right there, so I know where I'm going to stop while working my double crochet for the neckline. So after marking your neckline, you're going to open your work, and then at this point we are going to start with the double crochet for the neckline. So to get started with that, you're going to take your yarn and then attach it at the end of your panel. I still have a yarn there, so I'm just going to act to see if I'm attaching the next yarn. So I'm going to go back to the last double crochet, attach my new yarn to it, chain one, and I'm just going to turn my work, and then I work my way all the way to where I marked with my stitch marker. And it's just a basic double crochet with no increase or no decrease at all the way to the marked area. So coming closer to where I marked, I'm just going to go ahead and take off my stitch marker, which in this case is my yarn. I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to add a double crochet in the last stitch. So we're just going to chain one like we've been doing, chain one, and then you turn. And we are just going to go ahead and do a double crochet right into that first double crochet stitch, because the chain one doesn't count as a stitch, and then another double crochet, and just double crochet in every double crochet along the way, all the way to the end of the row. So when we get to the end, we are just doing this again for another one row, because we subtracted 3, so we have to do 3 rows of this for the neckline. So that is what we're doing for this row, and then for the next row, and you can go ahead and just cut and fasten off your work and repeat the same thing on the opposite side of your front panel. The same exact thing. Work your way to the area you marked, do this for 3 rows, and fasten off your work. So coming up on your third row on the opposite side of your neckline, I would advise not to cut off your yarn, because at this point you need to attach your front panel to your back panel, so there is no need for you to cut off your yarn. So what I'm doing in this video is just me trying to align everything together. So I'm going to just, as you can see, I think this is the easiest way. I really cannot explain this in any better way. So but we're just going to go ahead and just like, I am going to go ahead and single crochet both panels together, but you can definitely like slip stitch everything together, or just like use your yarn needle and sew everything together. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew those two sides together, and I'll do it for the same thing on the opposite side, which is me attaching the shoulders to the back panel, and I'll see you guys in a bit. So after sewing the neckline to the back panel, I'm now going to go ahead and decide how wide I want my armhole to be. Like I said, it's oversized there, so I wanted it to be comfortable, very big. So now I'm just counting my way down to how wide I want it to be. I counted a total of 18 rows of double crochet. So that is what works for me, but you can go ahead and measure your armhole and decide how many inches you want to add and how many you want to subtract. If you want it wider, then go ahead and do more rows. If you want it a bit tighter, then go ahead and lessen the rows. So I did a total of 18 rows, which is a total of 9 inches from my measurement. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attach a green yarn, because I don't want to use a purple yarn to sew along the green line, just so I don't have a mixed color going on. I want it to be even. I want the colors to blend perfectly. So you're just going to do single crochet, in my case all the way around, and single crochet both panels together. So yeah, I'm just going to like measure the armhole just so I know for sure that it's actually 9 inches. So 9 inches is equal to 18 rows of double crochet. And when you double that, it's total of 18 double crochet, which is how wide my armhole is gonna be. So at this point, I'm just going to go along and single crochet every both panels together. Actually, I also make sure I like align everything in a way that the rows are just equally single crochet together, just so I don't have an uneven work. So I'm just going to go along and just single crochet my way all the way to the end of this grain, and then I'm just going to cut off my yarn, of course, because I don't want to use a green yarn to attach the purple space together. So I'm just going to use the grain all the way to the end of the grain row, and then I'll just cut off my work and sew in the loose end. So I'm just going to take my purple yarn, and then I will attach it right after the last row of the grain, so it's perfectly attached. And I'm just going to make a knot and do a double knot just so it's really secure and it's not going to move or go anywhere. And again, I'm just going to swipe the rest of the remaining yarn I have left and just single crochet both panels together, and also just work my way all the way to the end of the panels. And I will just fasten off my work at the end and then repeat the same process on the opposite side of the panel. So after finishing your work, go ahead and turn it to the right side, because we are going to do a neck finishing and a finishing at the armhole as well, just so your work is looking neat and put together. So for that, I am going to use my purple yarn, but usually in this case I should have used my green yarn, but I ran out of green yarn, so I decided to use the purple. And for the neck lining, I'm just doing a simple picot stitch, I guess it's called. So for a picot stitch, what I do is I'm just going to chain one at the beginning of the row, and I'm just going to work my way around the neckline. So I will do 4 double crochet in each space, like 1 in each space 4 times, and on the 4th one I'm just going to go ahead and chain 3, and then you're going to go back into the first single crochet you made in that space, and then slip stitch right into the 3. So you have this thing going on there. So you're just going to do the same, do 4 double crochet, which is 1, 2, 3, and at the 4th double crochet go ahead and chain 3 and slip stitch right into the first single crochet you made. Just slip stitch your way through the chain 3. The tension is a bit tight, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this for the neckline all around, and it just gives it this nice finishing that I really love. But of course, again, this is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And again, you can just go in with the second color. You don't really have to use the first color. I'm using this because I ran out of the first color. So go ahead and do this all around the neckline, and then when you get to the beginning of where you started, you're just gonna slip stitch your way right through where you started, and then cut off your yarn and fasten off your work. At this point, you can just go ahead and repeat the same step for the 2 armhole and just do a picot stitch right around, and at the end just slip stitch everything together, cut off your yarn and sew in your loose ends. At this point, your dress is completed. You can go ahead and sew in loose ends if you have any around. Just go ahead and sew in your loose ends, and this is how the arm is looking. Like I said, the stitch just gives it this perfect finishing that I really love. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope this was very helpful. I hope you will be able to make this for yourself, for your family, for a friend, for anybody. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for watching and coming to the end of this video. And if you like this video, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up. That would definitely help my channel to grow. And also don't forget to comment what you guys want to see next, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to just drop them in the comment section. I'll definitely answer those. And also, if you have any feedback, they are definitely welcome, because this is my first tutorial and I'm definitely open to learning. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao ciao.